So, we are here. Hooray. I certainly hope so. I mean, we'll verify in a second. But Season 2 has started with an incredible amount of controversy, which we will get to as soon as I can verify that we are actually live. Let's see here.
And I'm slowly but surely finding us, so like maybe I'll find us at some point here.
Hello?
Let's see, episode 2. Oh wait, no.
Do you see us? Because
No, I can't find us anywhere.
Oh, I
and
can
I'm
find
looking
me.
for like
I can find us, but I can't see us. My screen is black.
I can't even find us. So are we? So speaking of controversy.
Okay, Evan says that he can't see us, so it's just. How can they hear us? Can you hear us?
Oh my gosh.
Ilona can see us.
Oh, okay. I finally found the video. Why is it not showing up in search on the YouTube search bar?
Okay, so.
Oh, I see us.
All right. Ilona says we're good. Maybe it just takes a minute.
Nope, okay, and I'm finally in, so now I can.
Unbelievable. It's going to be doing that thing again. It's man. Remember that one time where like I couldn't see us, but everybody else could see us? I think it's.
Wasn't that like last time?
It was last time, wasn't it? Yeah.
I mean,
I remember that time. So whatever. I at least can see the live chat. So that's something. I don't know what the heck is going on with YouTube. By the way, we're going to try to do scheduling again next week, since apparently now they've fully launched the new platform. So we'll see if it's actually functioning. But yeah, I really wish I could see us, because I want to make sure that everything is positioned. We've been using that font window for so long that we're going back to the full screen, and I want to make sure it actually works. But whatever. I guess we'll just deal with this. So, a couple of things. First, yes, this is the beginning of Season 2, and it's going to be the reveal of our big poll. First, we have some small business to take care of with Engjala. That is the last poll. There was a decision between how we were going to treat these sequences of 2 vowels in a row. And there were 3 options. One was just to do nothing, so that there would be sequences of empty characters in a row, which was the way it was. 2 was going to be to double up the initial characters, so that there would be, kind of fat vowel characters at the end when they occurred. And then the other option was to reduce the empty characters to just the single stick, and use those when there were consecutive versions of empty vowels. And that was the winner by a wide margin.
Yes.
Very wide margin. Wasn't even close. So we didn't even look up the tally. And so that means that if you want to spell Engjala, it looks like this. Ta-da!
Waiting for it to show. Oh, there it is. Hey. Oh, that's exciting.
Although that looks wrong, doesn't it?
It doesn't look like there's enough. Like, I feel like because all the other entries.
I know why. Because that one already has a line. Yeah. Because it's al, right. So never mind. That one's right. What I was thinking was I was thinking of that, but see, that one has a double line. So the single line is actually al. Anyway, oh yeah, now I remember what the bad thing was for not having the video up. My phone goes to sleep, and so
your phone won't stay on.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I think this time it's going to work. Well, we'll find out. Nope, not going to work. Anyway.
Oh, other people can't see either. Evan, is it? Are you trying to access it on a device? Because maybe it's just a YouTube device thing, or because Evan says he can't see either.
Yeah, like So Evan, you and I are in the same boat here. I can't see us at all. It's just a black screen, but others can, which leaves me puzzled. I just don't even know what to say about that. I'm restarting YouTube on my app.
Fingers. Okay, Evan is moving to a computer, so fingers crossed. It may. I wonder if there's. Do you think with the newest update, YouTube hasn't updated their app yet for 14 or something?
Oh, unbelievable. It's working on Ilona's phone. Sorry, is it Ilona or is it Ilona? Where's the stress? Is it on the first syllable? Screen, live stream, YouTube. Open this page in Amazon? No. What?
Oh, it's first syllable stress to answer your question.
Ilona. Okay.
All right. Well, and Veronica, you're absolutely right. Where is the stress? Just you don't have to look far. It's everywhere.
Or it could be caused by issues.
Is it not? See, other people are seeing it just fine. So I think it's just like a curse of David and Evan.
Well, wonderful.
It's if you have a V in the
see
middle
us
of
now.
your name, there's a curse.
I see us now.
Oh, yay. Okay.
I didn't do anything, so.
Goodness only knows. Earlier, right before we were supposed to start, in case you're wondering, there were more technological problems today, but on my end this time, like my camera just wasn't working. So, now Evan can see too. Yay. Okay. Curse over.
Unbelievable. You know, the fact that it happened, that it worked for both of us at roughly the same time really makes me wonder. It really makes me wonder.
That is odd.
No, Evan switched to a computer, so never mind.
Okay.
So anyway, but what I wanted to show you was I've added it to the front there, so now you can see Enģala.
Ooh, fancy.
And also it fixes the issue that I was having where there were just all of these doubled vowels. So now it kind of looks like this in the dictionary. We're going to put out another version of the dictionary that has this. But something I did realize, I was going to try to, oh right, we're just seeing the screen. I'm sorry. Duh. So I need to fix this so we can actually see you.
I didn't even pay attention to the fact that I'm just watching the document really happy. And
that's why.
Oops.
That's why. Okay, so anyway, I did want to mention something though. Ordinarily, there is a lot of fancy stuff that goes on to make this happen, where like you can type in some code to make it change its shape at the end of a word. And I was initially going to start down the path to doing that when I realized, wait a minute, that's only when characters occur consecutively. And of course, this script is written from top to bottom, which means there's going to be a return carriage between each character. And so then there's essentially 0 point in doing contextual ligatures like that, since there will never be consecutive characters. And so instead, to get these fancy versions of the vowel, you just type it twice. So like you can see over here, whoop. Here's the vowel ah, type it again, and you get the single version. Ooh, ooh, e, schwa, schwa. You can also do it if it's just e. Like e, the vowel, not e, the sound. Anyway. Yeah. Okay, so we'll keep Enģala in the background in case we need something. So now we need to talk about what happened.
Oh my gosh.
Jesse, do you wanna do this?
No, I don't. Like I'm like seriously been over here just like pulling hair. Okay, so here's the thing. We were like all the way up until 5 minutes until the vote ended, tied. And then we got a tiebreaker. And we had a winner. And so when the polls closed, I opened up Patreon. I saw the winner. I downloaded those votes. We had a winner. Somehow, Patreon let somebody change a vote after it had closed. And so now when I look at it, it's tied. But we did have a winner when it actually closed. So there is some technological glitch somewhere, but we had a winner, and so we have decided we're going to go with the winner as of the time the poll actually closed that I had the results for.
I mean, that's the way it should have been. You can't switch your vote after the polls close.
I didn't even know that was possible. I thought they would like cut off access.
Yeah.
So our winner by a margin of 1 and a late vote, but by a margin of 1, we're doing the possums.
Oh, wow. Unbelievable. I really thought that the mice were going to take it. But there it is. Opossums it is.
Oh my goodness. Yes, it has been a wild ride. And like seriously, whenever I went back into Patreon and saw a different number, I was just like, David, sit down. What?
I can't believe that. I can't believe that. Jeez.
They took it. I would call them the underdogs, but since the dogs actually were there and not the underdogs, I'll call them the underpossums.
Yeah, there were a few early dog votes, but then since you can change your vote while the poll is still going, everybody evacuated the dog vote to give it to somebody else. For a while, it looked like the cats were going to be in it, and it was going to be a three-way race. But opossums pulled ahead, and then the mice voters came back and started pouring in the mouse vote. Anyway, so, I guess that this is where we're at. Obviously, we're doing all of them. It's just a matter of what we're doing now.
Yeah.
And so opossums it is. And so day 1 of the opossums. So to fill you in a little bit on the background of these guys. So we have the 5 animals again that we are starting with. It's not going to be total. It's just what we're starting with. The dogs, the cats, the mice, the rabbits, and the opossums. The opossums were the last ones I came up with. Mouse, dog, rabbit, and cat were really obvious to me. But I was like, who should be the 5th one? And somehow I hit upon opossums because I saw a really clever drawing of one holding a staff. I don't remember where. And I thought, oh, that's pretty cool. But the idea behind the opossums is that as opposed to all the other animals that gain consciousness as a result of this substance, they immediately kind of looked at it pessimistically, or I guess the way that I look at things, because I am super pessimistic. It was like, we have life now, and now we know about death. Because, of course, before that, they didn't really have any consciousness, and so they didn't know about it. And so they basically look on this existence of theirs as a curse, because they now know about death. And, of course, after they've experienced death and the loss of many loved ones. And so they're very upset about it. But, of course, with consciousness comes the ability to build incredible structures and have very neat experiences. So, it's a mixed blessing, a mixed bag at best. And so that's kind of like where their psyche starts. In terms of their connection to magic, because magic exists in this world, the ranking kind of goes, so the cats have the strongest connection to magic. The opossums are second. Below them is the rabbits, below them is the dog, and then the mice have the least connection to magic whatsoever. So the opossums are right there, and they were the ones that are pouring a lot of their, I guess, their cultural brain power into prolonging life and to also reclaiming those that have died. They're trying their best to kind of stretch this existence out. And so that's kind of like where they're at. They're a very interesting batch and very bitey, which is, it's something I like about possums. I love when opossums do that little thing, where they open their mouths,
Is it because you are never close to one when it does it? Because it's terrifying if you're too close.
Oh, we have opossums here.
Okay, well, maybe the city ones are kinder than the country ones. I don't know.
Have you ever seen one scuttle across the road? It's adorable.
I mean, I've seen plenty.
Aren't they cute? You're the person that doesn't like armadillos, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm not an armadillo fan, and they're essentially armadillos
How?
without armor.
How? Like,
I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know.
there are a couple of special magical animals where when you see them, you're like, wow, this world is amazing. You have the duck-billed platypus, right? Um,
Sure,
and then, like, the koala. Um,
obviously.
and then, like, the penguin. Very strange
Yes,
animal. Very
yes.
strange animal. And the armadillo. Because you're looking at that and it's like,
No, I
is
would go
that
emu next. Sorry.
emu? But I mean, it's like, is that an animal or is it some type of rock or some sort of a rock made out of wood? It's amazing.
Beavers would go next after emus. Like I can list so many
Beaver
others,
too.
but
Yeah.
however, I'm excited regardless. I honestly would have been happy, well, doing any of the four languages because I am excited about that. But I think it will be interesting to see once we do get to the grammar and the word portions to see how these ideas that they have and how your pessimism
Yes.
shines through in their vocabulary and things like that.
Oh, great. Now Bibluridian's got another animal for us to look up, the sea pig. I
The
can't wait.
sea pig.
So,
How do you know all these things, Bibluridian? I feel like you're just like an encyclopedia of really interesting knowledge. That's how I think of you.
by the way, I wanted to pick up on a couple of comments here. So Logan says, since possum skulls aren't limited in size by passage through the birth canal, the way placental mammals are, they could reasonably become the most intelligent of the creatures. Um, and then, well, of course, also brontosauruses have great big skulls too, don't they? And then Dark Horse, I love this. The universe exists on the back of a koala. Why is he smiling? What does he know?
Well, and as a side note, somebody before had said we have to do something, and I'm so
Focus.
sorry, I don't remember who said it, that we have to do something with essentially possums are natural pesticides because they're eating all the little bugs and everything for everyone else.
Yeah, possums are great.
Oh, Bibluridian, biologist, nice.
Like, that means you had to take a class in biology. Like at the college
Yeah.
level. Why? Did you realize that?
Are you talking to me or asking
I'm asking
Bibluridian?
Bibluridian, like, I mean, the thought of taking a college class on the topic of biology is just. How do you do that?
Because you're interested in it. How did you take literature courses?
Because,
How'd you do that?
I mean, but that makes sense. It's a book. Like, here it is, right? But, like, biology.
But with biology, you get to study. So you didn't take biology in college?
Of course not. I took no science in college outside of linguistics.
What? Is your degree not a BS?
No.
Oh, wow, mine is. Okay. So, like, I had biology, physics, natural sciences, calculus. Those are all my filler outer classes. So I'm like, how did you not take these things?
I convinced my undergraduate advisor, whom I had never met, in the English department, that my introductory cognitive science course should count as math.
We're just going to move on. Okay. Okay, so yeah. And what's fun is when David
All
sent
right.
me the new season 2 document, I had almost forgotten how it looks without any specific information in it. And I was like, wow, yeah, we got to go back and do these sounds again.
Yep.
So
Okay.
4, 5, 10 episodes, we're ready to think sounds, right?
First things first, a little housekeeping, since the way that we are doing our partnership is we try to switch things up. So this time, it'll be Jesse Sams and David Peterson.
Oh, see, I guess I
way.
just thought because your name was bigger,
David
it just
J.
looked better.
Oh, your name can be bigger too.
Oh, yeah, you gonna put sassafras in there?
I forget what is your what is your middle name? Is it something like Pearl?
No. But that's kind of cute, though.
Jesse
Jessie
Pearls?
Pearl.
Oh wow, Jesse Pearl. Okay.
Oh, man.
Here we go.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, so yeah, what do we do with this? That's our phonology. We're gonna leave it like
We're
that.
done.
We're
They
done.
got all the sounds. All the sounds.
Took inspiration from Meg Davy. Just drop everything in there.
Everything. And they're all, of course, native to the language. None of them are derived in any sort of phonological rule or anything.
No,
They're just
indeed.
there.
Anyway, well, let's think about these opossa. Why isn't that the plural? I can't believe that opossum is the real word and not possum.
Oh, side note, Logan, Anne. Pearl is fun too, but yes, Anne is the actual middle name.
Jesse Ann Sands, Chess.
Exactly. Okay, now we can go back to sounds. Yeah, opossa. Now, somebody had said lots of fricatives, and I wonder if that was because you were talking about magic, which then makes me think if we have some sort of, if there's like a cultural cognitive connection between fricative sounds and magical things. I don't know.
Let's jump up and take a quick look at Engjala. And let's start here, because I'm going to tell you what I don't want to do again. I don't want to do prenasalized consonants. Goodness gracious.
We did it once. It's time to move on. Evan did ask if
What a
contour
mess that
tone would be
was.
an option since register tone will be in the mouse language.
Oh no. if there's going to be a tone language, it's going to be one of them, and it'll be register. I mean, not for this. Though when I think about the dog language, I really start to think about monosyllabic contour tone, but it could be something completely different. I don't know.
Okay.
Obviously, we're going to have to get there very soon because it's clear that the dogs are not as popular.
Obviously. Veronica says we need erotic language.
Oh yeah.
Hawa says we need retroflex series.
Let's
Jason says ban the L.
Let's take some notes here. I don't know. These are just going to be temporary notes. I'll put them right here. So.
Oh, and you know how well we remember notes and things to do with them.
No prenasalized consonants. Yes, some kind of rhotic, and I agree. I know that somebody suggested no L, but part of what we do with these languages is, we put our patrons' names in them, and gosh, it sure would be nice to have an R and an L.
Okay.
After having a language with no R and one L, like having an R and no L is just the other side of it.
We're ready to spread that out.
At least for
Marika
this one.
says, well, maybe Jason was just reacting to the fact that there's so many L words in Engjala.
That's true.
Marika says, I'm feeling uvular and glottal sounds somehow. But then Logan says the extended jaw suggests they should have lots of coronal consonants and fewer peripheral consonants.
Well, I mean, how is that different from any human language?
So we go with it. Dark Horse says, what about, which I read incorrectly the first time, pre-aspiration. The first time I was like prespiration, but then I realized that I need to think, pre and then the A is separate from it. Isaac wants to know, will it have syllabic consonants?
I don't know, and I think it's too early to say that. I think it's too early to say that. However, let's go ahead and throw that in the maybe pile.
Okay. David or Davide asked for labialized consonants in all capital letters, a very important request. Oh, and Dark Horse was saying HF, HR, HS, that kind of.
Kind of like that idea about devoicing. I assume when you say devoicing, you mean word final. It's kind of a neat idea.
An anime fan. Oh, I'm glad your aunt is named Anne.
I kind of like that idea about highly complex onsets as well.
Evan says central vowels. Applesauce concurs.
Well, I can certainly see killing the central vowels in a different way. In other words, one of the ways that we got some of the complex onsets that you see in languages, in the Slavic languages, was the loss of weak vowels. So, and
are you going to bring him up again just to kill him again? Are you like putting us through? Oh, this is just cruel and unusual, a punishment for everybody. Beatrice says dentals, and Alona and Johan say ejectives with an exclamation point.
Oh, ejectives, the mouse language was going to have ejectives.
Okay.
And I was really, really looking forward to the mouse language having ejectives. So I kind of only want to do one with ejectives. Definitely the mouse language.
And I pronounced at least one name wrong, and I'm glad that you were delighted by it, but please feel free to drop in an IPA transcription of how to actually pronounce it. Hey. Veronica says highly complex onsets.
Oh, Veronica, so she mentions a paper on highly complex onsets. If you can drop a link to us either here or maybe send me a message or something on Facebook, we can put a link to that paper in the show notes. That'll be nice.
Retroflex just keeps coming up.
I'm going to put a maybe on Retroflex because I hate them. I hate Retroflex consonants so much.
And, Beatrice says maybe only a 4-vowel system, but, I mean, David's going to kill every vowel we have, so does it matter?
So here's the thing. If we want some highly complex onsets, we're going to need more vowels. So it's either not very many vowels and then lots of open syllables, or many, many vowels and then complex onsets. Unless you go the Kabardian route and say, well, there's only 2 vowels, and that whole thing.
Okay, so voiceless palatal fricatives.
Well, I actually, since both Biblaridian and Logan are here, tell us something about the mouths of our little bitey fellows. What do you think about interdental fricatives?
And I did see that Logan commented that their jaw is even more elongated, so that could be like an even bigger difference. Oh, Isaac says go from 7 to 2 vowels. That's how you kill everything.
I thought he was saying that 7 vowels is
and
better
Logan,
than 2
I would
vowels.
be very curious.
So you thought that was 7 going to 2 vowels? I thought it was 7 was better than 2 vowels.
Oh, I thought it was 7 to 2 because Logan before that said 2 vowels in the end. So instead of starting with 2, in the end, have 2.
Okay. Now.
Evan says interdentals are far, far too overused.
Oh boy, that's something I'm hearing for the first time. Anyway.
Logan says they barely have front teeth. So
really?
Interlabial fricatives? Oh my gosh, I have not, you know what? Well, I mean, we didn't know who was going to win, but I need to see what their mouths. Oh.
They do not.
Oh, you should look at a picture of a possum with the mouth open. Logan's right. There's these huge kind of canine-style teeth, and there's a nice full row at the bottom.
Let's go ahead and pull it.
But in terms of what's in the top, right in the middle?
We're going to the wilds of the internet. Everybody brace yourself. Should I put it on possum?
Yeah, it's like right in the middle. It's really, I just looked up possum mouth and looked at the images, and there's lots.
Okay, I need to learn how to spell a possum first, I think. Oh, look at those darling little creatures. You're right, they don't have front teeth. It's like they're gap tooth. Okay, so I guess, interdentals don't really make much sense, do they? They couldn't do it.
Not unless it's a, lateral dental fricative.
Oh, nature's little taxis.
Okay, so Logan does say laterals would work well.
Yeah. And then, let's see. Look at that little bitey guy. I love him. And their little ears.
I
Uh,
mean, there are some cute things, and I am looking forward to drawing more pictures of them. It's just in the wild. I'm not going to get too close to any of them.
they're apparently very kind and loving. Look at this picture of somebody holding an opossum.
Until the possum bites you.
They don't bite. Plus, they don't have rabies. Did you know?
Oh yes, I heard that. Well, that they are somehow immune, but doesn't that they can still carry it, can't they?
Yes. No? I don't
Oh,
know.
wow.
Zachary, yes. So they do have more or less human-like mouths, but I mean, they can. It can basically suggest uh, a starting point. Looks like their mouths closed completely, so we should have M in there. Um, Laryngeals. They can carry it, but they rarely get sick. Oh, now David is saying they don't carry rabies. And they aren't
Oh well,
very
David's saying
aggressive.
they aren't that aggressive, and I swear, where I grew up, there were some aggressive possums. So I don't know what they were eating out in the woods. Whew.
Oh, I'm going to
Evan, no
acknowledge
M.
your suggestion of no M and shoot it down. It's definitely going to have M. I mean, look, their mouths close and they have nostrils. Um, so, rounded vowels might be difficult.
Yeah. However, what do you feel about nasal vowels?
No. What?
Like having a distinction there?
Hmm. Um, That's actually an idea. Hmm.
Not that I'm really good at pronouncing nasal vowels, but
Hmm.
uh. And Evan, I think to start we should consider keeping the M. So
Um,
I understand they don't have to do it, but
I don't
if we want
dislike
them to.
laryngeals at all, but they can be very functional when it comes to like later on shaping some sort of a unique vowel system. Kind of like doing some stuff, which I think is
Mm-hmm.
cool. But also for like these languages, I mean, ultimately we're gonna have to put names in these. So I'm not. I didn't want to have, actually have to figure out how to Romanize and get people to pronounce things like ma.
Come on, we can do this. And actually, Zach, that's really not common to have an angma with no other nasal. That would, in fact, be like third in line. Because in terms of commonality of nasal consonants, that would be really odd to do that.
Yes, you're right. It is cutting Jesse off. Thank you. I
I
again
just
forgot
need to
about
like move to the edge. I don't even know.
it.
Dark Horse has many sounds that die.
Ooh, they are great deceivers. I like that. Hmm.
Okay, so I feel like I acknowledge no N. We acknowledge, but I can't read every comment that is written. I'm sorry.
Here, hold
All
on a
right.
sec. Yes to M and N. That should put an end to that. Okay. Palatalized consonants. That's
How are
kind
you
of an
feeling
idea.
about that?
That's kind of an idea. Um, let's see. So, I mean, you don't want to end it. You don't want to have it end up being like Russian, but I mean, you could have like this this kind of central vowel thing going on that results in palatalization sometimes, and then also just dropped vowels in other times, leading to complex onsets.
Hmm. I feel like that could be a lot of area to play with.
It is. I just would hope that it wouldn't end up sounding exactly like Russian.
Well, I mean, if we build around it, um,
Hmm.
different sounds. Um, Lacy says maybe not palatalization, but a fat palatal row. I like that description.
Hmm.
Um, and
Yeah.
yeah, Evan said there wouldn't be a distinctive vowel reduction. And Johan said, what about an aspiration contrast? Oh, and Johan said that. Logan points out Irish doesn't sound like Russian, and they have the palatalized, the Lanishan type thing.
They do, but they don't have the incredible like vowel loss leading to like massive consonantal onsets. That's what I meant.
Right. Oh, I see. Because you're putting all the features together.
Yeah.
I was too focused on shouting out ideas from commenters. I wasn't putting those two together in my head. You're right. I see what you're saying.
I really like it.
And Veronica did provide a link for the digital repository,
Cool.
something for the paper on the highly complex syllable structures. And it's a dissertation, so, something to read later.
Nice. So I have an idea here. So remember, we're going to try to do word final devoicing. So essentially, if you got a language that has like a lot of these, right? Then assuming that this is kind of like a basic root, right? And we're definitely going to allow word final consonants for this. In order to beef that up, you're going to need lots of stuff in front. Like things like this, where maybe the vowel dies.
Right. So in other words, that will be a central vowel, is it?
Yeah, definitely. And it's going to have to favor, even with original roots like this that just jumped off the edge of the world. It should kind of try to favor word final stress. So what I'm thinking is that, it's kind of a very vanilla stress system, but what I'm thinking is like, penult if V final, otherwise final.
With the stress on the final, would the final consonant still be devoiced? Is that... Because I guess I always think of like initial stress languages with the devoicing at the end, just because there's not the stress on it, and so that's interesting.
Think about German. There are a lot of monosyllabic words. Right?
It's very true.
So basically, stress before the last consonant. Yeah. Meridian's back there.
I don't know that we're going to do pitch accent, Evan. And Mike, registered tone was going to be saved for another language. But I do note that you say pharyngalized consonants.
I'm feeling that too, Jason. So yes to stop plus nasal clusters. Initial.
And then voice lateral fricative, perhaps, because a lot of people are wanting lateral. Lateral, Desdenova says lateral fricative, affricate, and says then it won't sound Slavic.
That's actually a solid point. Let me... I'm going to throw this in. Yes to some kind of lateral fricative. We'll have to figure out how we're going to get it, because I don't know if we should start with it.
Okay. Desnor says, what about some central vowel deletion with epenthetic word initial vowels? For some reason, I'm thinking of Iraqi Arabic, where Muhammad is pronounced Muhammad. And I probably got that totally wrong, but David can pronounce it better.
I don't know that pronunciation.
Oh, and David suggests a proto-palatal consonant series.
Oh, so I guess that would be pronounced Muhammad, something like that. It's interesting.
Okay.
I had an idea here, because essentially what we're saying is that there's going to be strong versus weak vowels, and so then if we use let's use it's not Roman. If we're going to use V for a strong vowel and U for a weak vowel, you've got the following potential roots, right? And assume, by the way, that these consonants, like you can have 1 or 0 of them. Versus C, V, C, U, C versus C, U, C, V, C versus... Okay. And these might result in different patterns of stress. And these are all roots, of course. And if stress is going to be attracted to final consonants, then it does become an interesting question. What happens here?
Right. And Mike asks about strong, weak vowel harmony.
What?
Vowel harmony, pulling the weak vowel.
I see. Something like ATR harmony. I wasn't thinking that route.
I think it would also depend, since this is the root, like if that weak vowel here at the end, if the stress was pulled to the stronger vowel, then that would just result in a final consonant cluster at some point, right? Like the weak vowel would become so weak that it is crushed. And I think that could be interesting, because then we could get like maybe smaller consonant clusters at ends and bigger ones at beginnings.
That is interesting. Also, this plays into the whole syllabic consonants thing. So let's say if you had some sort of a word like, proto becomes, sabn. And then
that would be fun.
And then you could have that assimilate, so you could actually have them at the beginning of the word and the end of a word. Wow. It's kind of cool.
That would be neat. Bibleridian says that humans are the only mammals with a uvula.
What?
I'm just reading what's there.
Okay, hold on. And were you saying that in a British way, or were you saying in that, like, oh, you literally just found this fact out because you looked it up? I need to know, Mr. Bibleridian, sir. How were you saying that?
Oh my gosh. The apparently, is that the apparently part that you need help? Okay.
They don't have uvulas?
That is great. And yeah, Evan likes the idea of potential harmony.
Okay. All right. Okay. Wow. Wow. So, I mean, that's getting deleted. Wow. That's a bummer. I like uvulars because, I mean, most of the time the uvula you're getting is either, p or ra, which I think are very pretty sounds. I like the way that they sound. I like that the flavor that they add to it. I also like how if you're spelling something with a Q and without a U, it makes people go, ooh, what's that? But like, that's the way you do it. That's the way you got to do it. Oh, wow.
The only reason I'm okay with deleting them is because I struggle with pronouncing them. And quite often when I do try to pronounce the uvular stop, I spit. And I can't figure out how to do it without, like,
I'm going to show you how. Watch my face here. I'm going to give you this trick.
I'm watching.
You just do your biggest yawn possible. Ha. And then you just allow the back of your tongue to just go, ha, make a stop. Big yawn.
Okay, but now I gotta stop laughing. Don't look. Okay. Oh, God.
That was getting there.
See? Oh, good thing. Good thing nobody's actually sitting in front of me.
But that's all right. You're here again. So now I'm gonna give you your task.
Okay.
Stop saying COVID and instead say COVID. COVID.
COVID.
A little further back.
Okay. Oh, shoot. COVID. Oh, man. Yeah, I might have to work on that one. So that's like the only reason that I'm okay with getting rid of them. I like how they sound when people who say them who can say them. I just struggle.
Some baboons have uvulas.
Just some. The other ones were like left out.
Yeah, aspirating it, I mean, helps. It helps as an English speaker, Ha, 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 nice and breathy. You can do it unaspirated. Ha, 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 ha. You can also have an ejective. Ah, ah, ah.
Oh my gosh.
Ooh,
let me just get an aspirated one down first, and then we'll try to work on the others. Like, if I'm struggling this much with this one.
How about implosive?
Okay, I am jealous right now that you apparently have like the special neuron connections going on in your brain that allow you to make everything do what you want it to.
It's sheer power. I command my tongue to do it, and it obeys.
I think I'm just too Midwestern polite, and I ask it to do it, and it's like, nah. Okay. Evan does ask about implosives.
No, absolutely not. Out. No, never. Never.
Okay, I was reading. Oh, and yeah, Beatrice, if your practice comment was to me, yes, I will need to practice that off air. Otherwise, we'll be here for a very long time. Okay. So going back,
okay.
I do like this idea of having some interesting consonant clusters at the end. It may be because we're coming off Enģala with like really not a lot of hardly any codas, and so maybe I'm just like super excited about some interesting.
This also can lead to some really, really cool paradigms where, like, let's say proto is something like this, and then the modern, let's say that there's two different versions. Sometimes it comes out as this, but if it has different consonants that doesn't allow it, sometimes it comes out as this with stress on the first syllable irregularly, with some sort of a mystery vowel here. And then, of course, when both of them have suffixes added, this one will be like, this, and this one will also be like this because it's allowed, right?
Because it's really, historically, it wouldn't have been there in the first place. So, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that could be fun.
Yeah, and so then you can come up with these kind of wildly different paradigms. Approaching something like Arabic, but not getting there completely, I think. Though maybe. Maybe. Okay, so we definitely need to have some inflectional prefixes and suffixes somewhere, just to take advantage of this.
Should I write that down?
This could be really interesting here, too. I don't know. Should we?
I'm writing it down in my handwritten notes because I feel like I just remember notes from Enģala where we were suddenly like, we said we were going to do this, and then we made it so it was impossible to do that thing we really wanted to do. And by we, I mean you, because there was something you really wanted to do, and then we made it impossible.
Yeah. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is delete the uvular column, very sadly. I cannot believe animals don't have uvulas. How do they live? And it's the weirdest type of thing to imagine, that just kind of mutating. What would that feel like, to not have a uvula and then suddenly just kind of, ooh.
Good thing it happened slowly over a lot of generations.
But the idea is like the sped up mutation that happens with these animals. You know what I mean?
Maybe it put them in a sleep. Oh, so converbs that become TAM marking on the front, pronouns on the end. Oh, or vice versa. Okay.
Yeah, we can do. There's tons of stuff that we can do.
We should focus on sounds, though.
Yeah, and we're also deleting the dental column because
that.
Yeah, that's definitely not going to work. Do they have an L?
Also, take out the F and V unless you're going to make them bilabial. Which they could be bilabial fricatives, but they wouldn't have the necessary actual F and V.
That is true. Let's think about. Well, here, let's just write in No, don't do that. Let's write in let's write in the big versions for now.
Okay, and we do have,
So
oh yeah, I get the equation editor all the time by accident. A few people coming in with, can this substance actually give them a uvula? So, like, could they develop a uvula? Would that be dangerous for them to eat with a strange new throat blockage?
Yeah, the uvula doesn't really, by the way, protect against food coming
Oh,
down.
really?
No, that's what the glottis is for. I'm sorry, the epiglottis. That's what the epiglottis is for.
I thought it helped trigger the response on the way down, so that way you started responding physically before it went all the way down.
I thought it was just to prevent you from swallowing your tongue. I mean, if there's anybody who would be able to answer this, it's Veronica.
Someone help me out here. I apparently don't know what my uvula is potentially for.
Alveolar bone. Oh my God! So this is where things get really tough. So Logan is saying, Google tells me opossums have a deficient alveolar bone. So probably no alveolar consonants either. So Logan has gone all the way from it should be heavily like all alveolar consonants to no alveolar consonants.
Yeah, I mean, like the S and the Z would still be a possibility because you don't
Sure.
actually need that bone. You can definitely create fricative without having a bone, but that's, you know, and also Evan points out it did give them animal mouths, so maybe. Mike says taboo avoidance speech that develops into click consonants.
Yeah, so the thing is, so Logan is saying, coronal, not alveolar, right? But if you're talking coronal and dental is out, you know what that leaves. Oh, goodness. Oh.
All right. And Beatrice says maybe they just have the alveolar sounds, but they sound different than the way we say them.
I could do that, or we could go this route.
Waiting for the box to fill in. Oh, yeah. I know that's going to make some people happy. I think Mike had said it doesn't seem fitting for this language, but then other people are like, yes. Oh, see, look, now we're getting yes. Oh, yeah, we're getting lots of...
See, but this is just... A lot of this is just like, non-English for non-English sake. Where it's just like, oh, we're just doing it just because none of it makes sense. But it would. So this is weird. Then we have the possibility of S versus retroflex, sh versus palatal sh, which is too much. I don't like that. I don't like that.
I would honestly say if we're going to do retroflex, to get rid of the palatal stop fricative series, and then, I mean, potentially still a ya, maybe nya, I don't know. But, like, I would argue to get rid of those so as not to have, like you had said, not to, like, throw in all these things that would be really overlapping.
Okay, so then have just those, the sh and ja would just be, okay, and no palatal fricatives. Yeah. You could also have cha and ja up there, retroflex approximants. Okay.
Oh, and Johan says maybe the alveolars could be linguolabials.
Nah. No, I don't think so.
As I'm like trying it out over here, like, fuck. I mean, yeah. Yeah, so I think the alveolar, the S and the Z would still be.
Yes, I think so too.
Possible.
I think so too. So let's start to kind of fill this out here. How do you even type a retroflex? There.
Good question. And it's not that we're going overboard with considering their mouths, but I mean, even with the fanciful substance that they have, they would still be potentially aware of what their mouths were like beforehand. So like even if they suddenly got a bone there, I'm not sure that they would be using it in the same way we would. It's just a fun exercise to think through.
Yeah, I mean, it's still going to be spelled just, I mean, still.
T and D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I kind of, okay. Ta, marta, marta. Okay. Nah. Okay. This is kind of, I could see this. I
think the hardest part will be if those retroflex sounds are in any sort of consonant cluster.
Well, there are,
and by hard, I mean for me.
Yeah. Mandra, matra, marta. That is interesting.
How are you feeling about that?
Because then we'll have to get that too.
I think Evan's very upset about T and D potentially going away.
They'll still be there. They'll just be slightly retroflex. I can't see doing aspiration as a distinction here for some of the other things that we're doing.
Right. Wait, did you just get rid of the R that you said we needed the distinction?
At the alveolar region, yes, I did.
So are we going to introduce the retroflex R then?
I am actually strongly considering having something very much like the English R.
Oh.
So it's basically, it's like it starts off as a retroflex tap, mara, but then it just kind of restricts a little bit, mara, rana.
That works.
Yeah.
And that would actually make sense with everything else. So now the question is, are you going to do the fancy upside down R?
Yes, I am.
Awesome.
Actually, I'm going to put that one first. There.
Aspiration distinction has been requested for mouse or cat language. Apparently not the dogs. But...
No, I can see it for the mouse language. Have plain, ejective, and aspirated. Yeah, that's going to be a whole thing. That'll be fun. I think we definitely have to have ha, right?
I think so, especially... I mean, there was a preference for a little bit more fricative heavy anyway. And, I mean, since your fondest image of them is them opening their mouth to hiss, I feel like there needs to be some sort of fricative.
I'm going to make a decision here. No glottals.
No. I'm happy with that decision.
Yeah. Okay, let's ignore the approximates for right now. We're just going to leave them as is, and let's focus a little bit on Dark Horse actually has that's an idea I've thought of, not an auxlang, but it's going to be more of a mixed language. But okay, I think we definitely need to roll with this stop series.
Oh, and also bye Pantheon. I'm glad you were able to make it for as long as you were able to make it.
Woo!
Okay, so
Fricatives.
Sorry, you're on that series, and I'm thinking ahead to nasals. We can finish what you're on.
Okay, so it's like these three need to be here because just as allophones, and this needs to be here as an allophone. I don't know about that, but then the question is it going to be a phoneme? Okay, so fricatives. Do we want a voicing contrast with our fricatives?
If we want word final devoicing.
Yes.
For fricatives. Now, maybe we only wanted that for stops. Very German. But if we do want that devoicing at the end, then I would say, would need to have the voicing distinction.
Yeah, I think so too. And so now let's talk about the weak fricatives. So these are a given, but and ch is a given. Do we want the weak fricatives with the voicing distinction? We didn't have that in Engjala, so I suppose we could just do it here. I mean, we ultimately did have a voicing distinction, but not at the proto level.
Right. Part of me just wants it to keep it balanced with so many others. Like if only 2 of the sets were going to have voicing distinction, and then we would have 1 and 1 without it, that would make me feel better. But there's something about unbalancing it. Because either that, or I would want the fricatives, the labial fricatives, to be like completely, allophonic and not phonemic. But that's me wanting balance. How are you feeling about it? Also, I think I'm going to slide out of frame for just a second because it's starting to get really dark from this side of the room. So I'm going to open my blinds so that way I'm not just in shadow. So you shake your head as I scroll away for a moment. Okay. I see that you are still in decision mode.
Yeah, we've got too much going on for consonant mutation. I don't think that's going to happen. I did like the idea of a lateral fricative, but now I just don't see where it fits in. Where does it fit? Mashla. I don't see where it fits in.
On its own line.
And we don't have an H, so that we can't get it. This is where it might come from. Combinations of that and these later on.
Yeah.
So we may be able to get them without them being proto-consonants, and I'm fine with that.
Okay.
And yeah, we should write that down somewhere.
Writing down lateral fricative as allophone.
Maybe we...
Got it.
Since we made such a mess of things of the document last time, maybe we should start an official notes page.
Oh. What? Oh, man. Actually, though, I like keeping it all together for now,
Nice,
and then
Jasmine.
I'll move it to another page when
Okay.
we're done with that section. Because right
Sure.
now I like to see the charts and the notes.
Yeah, I gotcha.
And Evan, I don't know, you tagged us, and I'm not 100% sure what you mean by new alveolar bone in terms of like what you want to say about it.
He's talking about like, they developed one, you could use it, but mashla. Yeah, I think that we'll get that. We'll get that.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then, so you like having a phoneme va, and gra. You were pro that? I just want to make sure.
Sorry, are you talking to me?
I am talking to you.
Are you asking if I want the velar fricatives?
The voiced ones. The voiced velar and labial fricatives. Va and ra. Lawa and laga. Or gala and vala.
I was advocating
Vara.
for
Vara.
making it balanced. So either only voiceless for both of them or voicing distinction in both of them.
Yeah.
That was my only thing. I wasn't decided. I honestly would probably lean toward no voicing distinction. But then again, that depends on the overall feel that you want for the language. I don't know.
Okay.
Are you feeling a distinction?
At some point, but maybe not at the proto stage. maybe not at the proto stage.
Okay. I think someone had an ice accident in the kitchen.
And ice is very voiceless. So yeah, we're going to get rid of these. But again, they'll probably come back. They will probably come back. But at the proto stage, we can stick with this.
Yeah.
I already deleted W if we were going to have va, but now that's back in play, perhaps. Be something funny going on with W.
I'd be down for having a W and a ya in the proto forms without having to do some sort of vowel. I think that would be kind of interesting to have, especially given the fact that we do want to eventually lean into those consonant clusters. I don't know. I think that could be an interesting way to build on that, especially with if you do eventually want to go some sort of labialized consonants or palatal consonants that could come from clusters that became reduced with palatalization or velarization or whatnot.
But that was gonna occur as a result of the weak vowels.
Gotcha. Instead of the.
Maybe these would be more intrusive than anything else.
Okay.
Oh, and by the way, since we are, you know what, this is the proto stage, right? So I should write the proto-consonant that I was thinking of. It might not be there anymore when we get to the modern stage. I mean, it won't.
Sorry, I'm laughing. So no palatal affricates in the proto form. I agree, Jasmine. Labialized velars. There's just something nice about them. Mike asked, what if we had no palatals because they merge with the retroflex consonants? And Logan says, holy cow, possums only have a single cone pigment, so they're literally colorblind.
Yeah.
Literally only black-white distinction.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty metal. I love it. Okay.
So, yeah, if we got rid of those others, then I would say get rid of we can leave the column there for potential allophones down the road. But yeah, just empty out the palatal column and have it potentially for future.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah. Now, what do you think of velar nasal phoneme?
I would not have it as a phoneme myself. I also wouldn't have the retroflex as a phoneme, but I guess in this case, would the retroflex form be the more native one?
In effect, you could essentially merge these and say that
they're the same sound. Yeah.
And so it would be kind of a fiction to say that one was the basic and the other one was the inherited, but
just merge their cells, David. Just show the true merging.
Yeah, you're the boss.
Now, with this merging, we still want to have the S and the Z separate from the retroflex S and Z. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure.
I mean, this is the whole reason we have this column, this S and Z.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I like that.
I would like to make a note of Desde Novus notes somewhere.
Inverting. Oh, okay. So just in case other people don't see exactly, inverting light equals good, dark equals bad imagery since they're nocturnal. I see comics. My future cartoons are going to have lots of nighttime skies. I'm very excited. Mm-hmm. And Evan, essentially TND is already merged. That's why there's only the retroflex versions.
Yeah. Okay, so here's where the difference comes in. If we're going to have velar as its own phoneme, it means that we could have words like, like mpana, something like that, or mpan. Where you have like a velar nasal followed by a labial stop.
Right.
And a mtafa. It's kind of cool. But how are you feeling about that? Something that would end up being Romanized like mtaf.
Oh, I need to scroll down. See.
Yeah.
There we go. Oh, how am I feeling about that?
Yeah.
About the spelling, not wild.
Oh.
Okay, can you say that for me again? Because I won't be able to do that one.
Mtaf.
I don't know. I'm not feeling that, but
Poor Jesse.
I was actually feeling just 2 nasals. That was going to be my suggestion from the get-go. Was 2 nasals, everything else allophonic.
You win this round, Sassafras.
That means
Yep.
I need to celebrate.
Celebrate with Kopiko.
Yes. Oh, you fit that in perfectly. That is amazing. Because I feel like we may have just finished our proto-consonant table.
Yeah, I think so.
And I'm celebrating a win.
Yeah, I think so.
My guess, what if we had syllabic nasals from vowel deletion, including word initial?
Oh, yeah.
That I could get behind.
Yeah.
It was the clustering that I was struggling with.
And yes, Jasmine, very good point. Prenasalization is way different from consonant clusters with nasals. These are just going to happen. We're not going to have to deal with them. They'll just, occur as a result. So.
And yeah, Logan, any laterals will be allophonic. Okay, if they're going to struggle, question. If they're going to struggle with rounding.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how much we want her to deal with that. Because essentially we do have pa.
Which indicates they should be able to get at least a semi. Definitely no front rounded vowels though.
No.
Like,
yeah,
I wouldn't go overboard. I would do unrounded back vowels as a potential option, but none of the front rounding.
Let's go ahead and get rid of that too. And so labialization is just not going to happen. It's just not possible. Let's just throw this in there for the time.
Oh, Evan says the retroflex lateral fricative exists in Toba. I don't know about that one.
Macha. Huh, really? That's it? Seems like should be a pretty common sound. Macha. Macha. Yeah. You're right. P doesn't require rounding. That's a good point.
So we could later get some rounding from other processes, but for now, everything on. So I was just going to click on that and be like, should we take those out?
Hold on.
I feel like there's a really good idea brewing. So part of me doesn't want to interrupt it, but the other part of me doesn't want silence on it.
Well,
So I'm just gonna fill.
I was noting the similarity between the high central unrounded vowel and the high back unrounded vowel.
Mm-hmm.
And wondering what might happen if we remove the high central rounded vowel and essentially say that it started out as just high back unrounded, and then it is essentially one of the weak vowels. And then the question is, what happens to it? What happens to it in stressed position? Is it going to stay as a high back unrounded vowel, or could it become something else?
I feel like there's always the potential for something to change. Could it become something? Yes.
It's,
vowels are so wishy-washy that honestly, I think
so
there are so many.
So essentially, something like this. Sorry, become not very simply. But then, what would happen here? Gnut. Like, because what I want to say is that it actually just fronts to that, knit.
Okay.
Meaning that we would effectively end up with a system where there was no high back vowel.
I don't know how I feel about that.
I know. I knew that you wouldn't know how you felt about that.
In a bad Is that why you were taking so long to think it through?
Yeah.
Okay, I say
but
bring back the rounding for ooh.
Well, no, on the other hand, like, I see what Jasmine is saying. So, like, in at least my variety of English, like, those vowels are rarely rounded anyway. So, like, specifically, like, the lax ones, like could, never rounded, put, rarely rounded, soot, never rounded.
You don't put the soot in the chimney.
In the chimney?
Chimney.
Goodness. How would that... Chimney? No, that would be chumney. Could you even do that? That's not possible in English, is it? Chumney?
No. Yeah. I just wanted the vowel to go through all the words, and where else are you going to put soot?
Did you see what I did? Did you see what I did?
We can make that a word. Chumney. Yeah, Dark Horse, I have the same merger. I don't know if you're saying you have it, but the pen merger.
I say them differently, but it doesn't matter to me if somebody says them the same.
I don't think it should matter. I just,
no. And when I say I don't think it matters, I say, like, I don't recognize it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
so I don't either, because I have the merger, so I don't think about it. But, like, people who do notice it are really particular about it, and
it's weird.
Shocks me. I'm like, you knew what I was talking about, right?
I remember in linguistics when this was being introduced to me, and I was just so perplexed. Because it's like, I always say them differently, but it's like, it doesn't matter. Like, what you're saying, like, they basically sound the same. It really doesn't matter. I don't know why.
Right.
It to me, it's kind of like, women versus women. It's like, I don't know.
I don't even hear really
Yeah.
a big difference there.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's no big difference. Like, you can produce the difference and hear it when you do it, but it doesn't sound very different, so it doesn't matter.
But I also get teased because I have this set of homophones in my dialect. Those two are pronounced the same for me.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you. I'm glad to know other people don't think that's weird. They're both pronounced crown in my dialect, in case you're wondering.
Yeah, I've always said that, crown. Crown.
It's the right way, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway.
I know somebody who says warsh.
That's in an area around where I grew up. There are some Washington kind of things.
Well, it's also from my friend's mother who grew up in Cape Cod.
And that was where they have warsh?
Okay.
In Cape Cod?
I'm just reporting the facts. I don't know.
Interesting. Okay, back to our vowels, not back to English dialects.
So, let's start here. Because, see, it feels like what we're leaning towards is like there aren't weak vowels anymore. It's just everything's disappearing. But maybe only certain of them qualify as weak vowels. Maybe this is what does it. Oh, no, not again. I know.
Insert a formula, please.
Yeah. Maybe this is what does it. Maybe the similarity of unstressed and right? The central vowel and the back vowel. Maybe that's what triggers the change.
Would make sense.
They sound so similar, and so they basically just drop out. Meaning that these two drop out. This gets retained in the stressed position. And so then these are okay. Let's do some forms here.
Oh, and Corona Pop. Yeah, rural Midwest is where I grew up, so around there is where I heard a lot of warsh. Usually, you're right, from an older crowd.
And okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because we have 6 vowels, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, we have 7.
Yes.
We have
7. Yeah, you're right.
Kinan. That's the one I'm missing. Yeah, you know what? My friend, so he's the son of the mother I was talking about. So he obviously was born here in Southern California and grew up here. But he says woof for wolf. He always has. Sorry, you're right. You're right.
So many fun words.
What am I doing? My bad.
What?
My bad there.
What are you doing?
Okay. Back to it. Okay.
So now.
We know that these are going to become this.
Nan.
None. However, this one could be special. It could. None.
Gotcha.
Could do that. That would be the distinction there. Do we want to say any of these vowels stay for absolute certain?
In terms of the strong vowels?
Yeah.
Or in terms of the ones that you've marked for...
So, like, here's some possibilities.
because it would have final stress.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh no. I'm leaning towards keeping those particular ones, but that may also just be thinking through all the roots that are going to get reduced that much. I don't know. Jason likes number 4. Wesley says either one involving length, so that would be 3 or 4.
This and of course, if this length is happening, of course, it's going to happen with everything.
Right.
And and essentially, we would be doing this thing. So like, I don't know. We would get this. I'm sorry, that. You know what I'm saying? I was thinking of the voicing leading to the lengthening.
Okay. All right. So with that, I know there's a few here. Evan likes 2. Mike asks if low vowels could relax to schwa and high vowels relax to central high. Alona, Jasmine, Yinkle all vote for 4. Mike says 3 are 4. Megan likes the KN sound, which will happen. The question is, like, is it only with certain vowels, or?
Yeah, these are pretty much set in stone, and we'll figure out what to do with palatalization later. The question is if we wanted to keep the strong vowels.
In unstressed positions. Okay, Megan's leaning towards 2 or 4 because she likes the KN. Oh, and then 4. Okay, and then Alk says 3. And there are fans of this idea of the idea you have down here with the voicing leading to lengthening.
Let's go ahead and write that down.
Oh, now 1 and 3 are getting some love.
So it seems like it's going to be one of these two.
Yeah.
But basically the question is, how aggressive is this going to be? We know that these vowels are going to, the weak vowels are going to die always. And this one probably will too. Sorry, here we'll go ahead and add.
Mike says to keep only the front vowels or only I, A, U. Or in our case, U.
Yeah, I could see this one becoming.
And like, I know that there will be other things to differentiate them. I think that's why I want to keep whatever we decide are strong vowels. I want to keep it like option 3. Even though if we do have like a really strong inflectional system, you know, some of these vowel sounds may come back into play. Anyway. Okay. I like that last one. Oh, Jasmine changes a vote to 3.
Yeah, I'm actually thinking about that too. I think maybe that.
And Wesley would like to keep some unstressed vowels around.
Maybe this makes the most sense. So we've got A and E staying. Is going because of the similarity with this. This causes palatalization. That's going.
And I think this is also answering Jason's question if all vowels except central vowels are the quote strong vowels, and if what we have here ends up being then really we're looking at the E and the A being the strong vowels.
Yeah. This one would have originally started as a strong vowel, but merged with this just due to the similarity in sound.
Just without that palatalization influence.
Yeah, without the.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, that's. Well, now I'm starting to think about the order of this, because how would they have sounded similar if one produced palatalization and the other didn't?
Right. So like there does have to be some distinction there, or no distinction where only the et leads to palatalization.
And that would kind of be a shame. Well, no, the and the e.
Right. Just one keeps the vowel and the other one just has the palatalization effect.
But the whole point of having this... You know what? I think this one has to stay. I think it has to stay.
Okay. There are several people in the chat I've seen ask about the chance of the long vowels breaking into diphthongs.
Oh, well, let's definitely hold on to that idea. Let's write it down somewhere. Initially, you don't want to get confused, right? Because there's stages of this thing. So let's have them be long vowels for a bit. Then we can talk about breaking them later. Because, you don't want to get lost at the different stages.
We're going to be killing vowels, breaking them. Man, it's a bad day to be a vowel.
Yeah, no, that's a really neat idea, though. That's a really neat idea. I like that. I know that you wrote it down on paper. Okay. Okay.
Excellent. Okay.
So I think this is good, and we're happy with that. Now, I'm going to ask a different question. So we know that this becomes that.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're going to do all the vowels.
Okay. Because here, actually, I'm going to start at the, I should put on my IPA keyboard. I'm going to start at the bottom and try to meet you in the, and by middle, I mean you're probably going to be caught up to me.
Ah!
Are we typing? We are typing in the same place. I should have stopped. I thought I beat you to that row. I'm done. I'm not touching it.
Yeah, and we'll...
I thought I beat you there because your cursor looked like it was still up a little bit higher. Almost.
Almost. Okay. So there's this, and then I wish I could just copy and paste.
Just ignore that.
Okay, I'm going to copy and paste.
This is why we should create tables.
Yeah.
Sorry for the ringing. Probably telemarketer.
I just wanted to raise the possibility of, even though I said we were going to do vowel harmony in the cat language, and I didn't want to do it in more than one, I'm going to raise the possibility of at least vowel coloring.
Oh, I think that's actually almost exactly what Mike had suggested.
I know. And I didn't like the idea because I wanted to do it somewhere else, but it just seems to be suggesting itself here. So let's talk about it. But I think first
we'll chat.
Let's do that second though, and let's talk about this first. What could happen? What's going to happen to these vowels when they are stressed? So I suppose the first thing that is going to happen is this. the very first thing that's going to happen is they will all become long.
Okay. To momentarily save some of them from a chopping block.
Yes.
Do you want me to do that to the next row?
Yeah.
Or
no.
wait till we talk this through.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's talk this one through first.
I just got to be very clear where I'm typing so I don't start typing over you again.
Nice, Johan.
Oh, now I need to know. Gotta get more on the side. And yeah, Megan, I'm old school. I like my home phone. Okay. So now we're staring at the possibility of lengthening.
I think that this thing is definitely going to become that. So these will be identical.
Mm-hmm.
Probably a similar change here.
If the epsilon triggers palatalization, would that suggest a relationship with an E kind of sound, or is it not a close enough relationship that it would, in this position, move to an E sound?
The idea here is that the reduced to kind of like an basically
Okay.
the same thing as this, and so it caused palatalization. And so that the palatalization happens when it is reduced. It's essentially squeezed up to the top of the word where it becomes a ya.
And that's the exact description I needed. Wesley asked if we could raise the schwa to the E sound, the high central, in this situation. And applesauce has created the best word for this season, possibility.
The possibility.
Nice.
Anything is possible.
Exactly, right? Okay. I mean, what are some other options that we would have other than and hence the notes that are so random that later we're like, what? Begin. This is great. So I know you said this is one option. What were some other things you were thinking about?
You know what? I almost feel like maybe this should have been step 3.
I also, because I feel like the weak vowels, even if they were changed into a strong vowel pronunciation, like, to me, that would be distinguished between the two. Like, the original vowel that was strong would be lengthened in this situation, and the weak vowel would go to a strong vowel but not get the length because it's already at that point, like it wasn't strong enough.
I'm gonna just...
Oh, and Mike did ask if the high central vowel causes palatalization here. Would it be more likely to become the E than a back vowel?
Yeah, I know that that is something that one could think, but in this case, I basically the idea is that as they are trying to stress this to distinguish it, it ends up sounding more like that. That, I don't know. That's just what it feels like in my very bones.
And that is very important.
Yeah. Okay, so this is the first step. This has to be the first step.
Okay.
So there's no skipping steps. And so the question is this step 3, or is the lengthening step 4 after something has already happened to the vowel quality?
Also, side note, while you're thinking about that, James asks why, I'm finding examples. These don't have palatalization because the vowels aren't in the right place. Just a second, I may have misunderstood.
What? What are you talking about? It's a schwa.
James was asking if these should have a palatalized K, but the schwa doesn't cause palatalization.
No. Yeah, that's the one.
That's
right
the
there.
key. Yeah. So I think I just misread the comment, so I was going to ask, but never mind.
We're super boring.
So Megan says if you can make a good argument for it, then it sits.
Okay, so imagining this situation where, Gnan becomes Gnan. What do you think happens first? Do you think the lengthening happens first, or do you think the vowel quality happens first?
Okay, can you highlight the one specifically you're talking about? Because I thought you were talking about this one up here, but the vowel quality.
So Gnan. So Gnan becomes Gnan. And does the length, how about this one? This is one where the vowel quality we know is going to change. Gn.
Okay.
Gn. The lengthening is going to happen first. The lengthening is going to happen first. It must. It must. Okay? So then we're getting this, and now we're talking about the quality of long vowels. That's what we're dealing with. It has to be the quality of long vowels. So, I know that we said we were going to put breaking off, but maybe that's where we're at.
And yet, here we are.
So,
you made me write down a note for no reason.
No, I did.
Because otherwise, I mean, it would make sense to have.
I'm not even going to put that there. Well,
No.
Yeah.
And what's really funny is I was going to say the opposite way, that as I was saying them in my head and putting stress on them, I feel like the vowel quality would shift with the stress. But that may also be just my English brain taking over because of the amount of shifts that we have with stressed vowels versus unstressed. And so I was thinking the quality would change before the length, but
why don't we write the results and make this our first poll,
where it's just one option or the other.
Yeah. So let's work right now with lengthening happening first, and then after that we're going to do quality first.
Okay. I can dig that. So now I see where your cursor is. So
yeah, maybe not that one first.
maybe pick an easier one to deal with.
Knen. How
now,
man. How do we?
Some weak vowels could stay, right? If it were lengthened in a stressed position.
What? Oh.
So goes back to the which ones are weak and which ones are strong. Will the language retain any of the weak vowels once we're done with it?
No.
Okay. Because maybe this is, again, me thinking about certain languages I'm familiar with, because I would think then that what would happen are these lengthened weak vowels become produced like the strong vowels, and the strong vowels get diphthongized, to become even stronger.
I think you're probably right.
This is going to be a fun one.
Now, what do we do with the non-high vowels?
That is a wonderful question.
Ilona, what happens to proto-lengthened A and O? Well, they become the same thing, don't they? So, suomi becomes suomi. That would produce the exact same thing. So this would probably have to become and then this, keep it, because then that,
just keep it the same.
Yeah, and it's a central vowel thing.
And then, yeah, that could lead to potential more areas for palatalization. Yes, it could.
Okay, let's leave that.
Okay.
And then we're going to put this down here because we're not even going to talk about the fronting yet. We'll get there.
Mm-hmm.
Oops, what happened here?
Oh, because you started the highlight over at the other option, so it just needs to be tabbed over.
Got it. All right, and now we're going to do
flipperoo.
Yes, so okay, so this is
Alona says, I suddenly don't know how Finnish works.
Yeah, the proto-long E became IE, and then the proto-long O became UO. And then the only way you get long A and O in modern Finnish is just due to modern phonological thingies happening.
And that sigh is for thinking here, because then that would go back, I think, to a point, because, I mean, obviously some of the vowels need to go through another stage of evolution, because we've got, you know, the vowel quality changing of the weak vowels.
We could raise.
Okay. I was going to say, something has to happen to those.
I suppose this could stay none. Kind of interesting. Basically don't get eh.
Mm-hmm. But then we have 3 different unes, different sources.
Yeah, that is, I mean, yeah.
Okay, so maybe I don't like that one as much anymore. And that was going to be such a nice way to have a vote here near the end.
Well, remember this is an early stage. And so these could all be lengthened now.
just really like to be able to make distinctions.
I know, you are just obsessed with that. What's wrong with just smushing everything together so it sounds the same? That's how we have fun in English.
I know, and maybe that's what I'm fighting against is, come on now.
So, I'm just imagining this opossum with a staff and a cloak. He's like, that is the third canon. We meant the second canon. Oh.
That is, yeah. Okay, how do you feel? How do you feel, David?
I feel pretty good about this, but I did want to address something that Dark Horse is raising right now, so he's maybe Coda R changes it differently. That is something that we're not at yet. In truth be told, I probably shouldn't have chosen N because we had raised the possibility of nasal vowels, and sometimes N can do funny things. I was trying to choose a neutral coda to say, like, this is what's going to happen in the most neutral circumstance. Then later, we can talk about what happens with the other codas. Because, yes, that is absolutely a possibility. There's a possibility that it could change with a post-vocalic rhotic, post-vocalic retroflex, post-vocalic palatal. Like, any of those things are possibility. I wanted to just do neutral. So even we'd actually do it with nasal codas. I'm not saying we can't. But for right now, we're going to treat these as neutral and just deal with this first, then get to the complex stuff later. So here's, I'm almost tempted to do a third option. You still there? You waiting?
I am. I'm giving you the side eye.
Okay, so I know. But here's the third option.
Because I'm concerned.
Here's the third option. Because I liked the idea of long vowels at the end of a word. And with our first option, we only have 3. With the second option, they're all long.
Mm-hmm.
What if we just threw this sound change on the end? Let me show you what would happen.
I'm reading. Still giving you side eye.
In, right? Oh wait, sorry. I need to preserve the original. Sorry.
Because it would need to be lengthened first before you.
Yeah. Non-Canadian. New one, right?
And you're getting corrected all over the place. You don't mean third option, you mean third possibility.
Possibility?
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
I just want to make sure you know what's going on in the comments there.
Okay, so it's not going to make any more distinctions, but it is going to have vowel breaking plus long vowels.
I already know what option I really hope wins if this is our vote. And I'm just sending so many good vibes right now to our patrons. I'm not going to tell you which vote it is.
Oh, I think we all know. We all know.
You know. Okay.
I feel good about all 3 options.
Well, that's really what's important because you did not feel good about some of the options last season. And I was just like ambivalent toward them and laughing at you as you got your least favorite option picked. So I guess it's time to see what that feels like.
I'll tell you what, if one of the 2 options that you don't want to win wins, we'll go and coin the word Wema for something in Enġala. Something you like, something high frequency.
Little celebration dance there. Oh man. Okay. All right, then in that case, I get Weema if I lose all the options here, because there's really one I'm shooting for, but I think I can deal with that.
I'm starting to like this language.
Oh, my word. I mean, and I also feel good that we're nearing the end of this first episode, and we really, I mean, we have a proto system of sounds pretty much. I mean, there may still be changes, of course, because there's always that possibility, but we have a starting place, and that's super exciting.
Right on. Right on. I dig it.
And we're going to find out some of our first sound changes.
Yeah. By the way, we are running a little bit early. So
we are.
Let's at least start to put some of these things into the sound change applier so that we have them later. Our proto-consonants are ah. You know what?
Do you mean proto-vowels, not consonants?
Proto-vowels. Can I put in E, O, and U for these? Just so that it's easier.
Yes, because that's going to be a disaster trying to type into the sound change applier.
Yeah,
and I got really tired of having to copy and paste all those symbols from Engjala last time.
Yeah, we'll have a little fix up thing later, so it posts correctly. So I, E, O, and then okay, there are vowels. Consonants.
And you have the schwa in there, right? I can't see, but I'm assuming
do.
it's there.
Yes, I do. Consonants.
You have 7, correct?
Yes. Okay, PB, and I'm going to do the same thing with the retroflexes. TD, SZ.
How you got to differentiate SC though with the retroflex.
Yep. So we'll type those in. Sha, ja, ha. I think we got fa, right? Yeah.
Yes.
And
then we also have the ch.
Okay, is that it?
I can't see the fullest. How many consonants do you have?
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Oh, R and L.
16.
R and L. Just type R and L.
But how do I have 16 too? Did you put ones in there?
No, I counted at the. I was counting the different thing. Don't worry, we're all good.
I thought you were on the sound change applier still, and I was like, wait.
Okay, and so now let's do. We'll call D our voiced things. Oh right, we probably need K and G too.
Wait, it's not in there?
No, I put it in there now.
Oh, okay.
Okay, those are our voice things that devoice. Oh, but actually we could have R and L devoice at the end of a word. That'd be another way to get us something like kla at the end of a word.
Oh.
So.
That would be nice.
Yeah, let's throw those in there. Put R in there. And then our fricatives are S, Z, sh, j, h, f. Good. Our nasals. And let's. I'm going to put in angma as well, just so that it's known that it's a nasal, even though it's not going to be a protophoneme.
Right.
Okay. And then let's. Okay. I want to try these rewrite rules to see how they work.
And I'm going to refresh the screen because once again chat has frozen for me.
Oh yeah?
Which means it's like, no way has nobody said anything. Catch it back up here.
Okay, that's good. And now, oh, I see that's not how rewrite rules work.
Oh wait, what's happening?
I guess I misunderstood how the rewrite rules worked.
Oh, I see
There
you
they
all
go.
now. It was
Okay.
it was just a weird thing where it had even stopped showing how many minutes we were streaming, so I just needed to restart my website.
Okay. Yeah. You gotta write. Okay, good. And then what else?
This is like, it blows my mind thinking of all the Enгэлala rules you put in, like pretty much all at once. I feel like because we kind of waited a little bit to get all those rules in, and so that's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Okay, but I think we're fine with the bilabial fricative. We're just gonna write that. That's fine. Okay. There we go. Yeah. Okay.
Is the bilabial fricative just with the IPA keyboard will give me the right Unicode thing that I need? It's not like the schwa.
Oh, let's do that. No, wait. No, you know what? Forget it. No, just do the regular shot. It'll be fine. Oh, by the way, the rewrite rules, the way they work is says that thing that you want it to look like on the end is on the left. The thing that you're going to input is on the right, which is a little backwards to my way of thinking, but nevertheless, as you can see, I typed in MENA over here with just a regular E, and it came out as the correct E over there. So.
That is, I would have done that completely backwards and been reading the directions, because I know there's a set of guidelines you can go through here, and that would have been something I would have spent way longer on than I need to.
Let's see.
That is good.
Let's
a last dark horse, while it would be great to have a way of saying goodbye in the language this early, it's too early.
Yep.
We can, however,
That didn't work.
use Engjala for greetings and goodbyes. Because we do have that.
Okay, so now I've come to the point where it's like, why didn't this sound change work? Why did this sound change fail?
Well, that sounds like a good point to say we are now at the end of the live stream.
Yeah.
And we will get there.
That'll work. All right, whatever. We'll get there. All right.
It's good. But, well, on my behalf, I hope everybody has a wonderful week, and thank you for joining us for season 2. Woo! And I'm so excited to see how this possum language develops, and excited to have you all along for the journey. And of course, stay grammar.
Yay!
Is that your outro?
We're good at that stuff. Oh, but I should hit stop.